This whole week has been totally electrifying. We spoke about overcoming beliefs. We spoke about limitations of resources or being resourceful. We spoke about being 16-year-old or 60-year-old in the business community and all the differences. But today we're bringing it all home. I have what I would consider some of the most impactful individuals that we've interviewed all week. These people are not only authors, they're business developers, they're innovators, they're speakers, and have absolutely created an incredible journey, not only for themselves, for their families and their communities. And they're going to talk to you how you too can create change today. This is the ME Show.
All eyes on me, girls on me, on the dance floor. All eyes on me, who will see? Man, you better come get your girl dog. All eyes on me, party like a rock star. You can find me in VIP. All eyes on me, yeah, where the girls are. This is how your night should be. All eyes on me,
all eyes on the prize. Money supersized, G5 super fly, should be supervised. Do or die, open up your eyes, head to the sky. Keep a mean bad mommy on the side. Make a tsunami, kamikaze on the mind. Spit flow, paparazzi, flash shine. Get dough, champagne, Merlot. Cash and tango, in the VIP. Now she wanna touch her ankle. Get low, mueve mami como el dembow. All eyes on me, peeping through the window. Get mine, get yours, believe it or not. In the meantime, I'ma keep my eyes on the
all
top.
eyes on me, drinks on me, girls on me, on the dance floor. All eyes on me, who will see? Man, you better come get your girl dog. All eyes on me, party like a rock star. You can find me in VIP. All eyes on me, yeah, where the girls are. This is how your night should be.
All eyes on me indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, back by popular demand, I have with me the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the Hall of Fame motivational speaker, the 10-time black belt champion, 6-time best-selling author, the one and only Dr. Stan Harris, a.k.a. Dr. Breakthrough. And along with us, he's going to be introducing an incredible superhero team. And these incredible individuals have created impact on their own. Doc, why don't you introduce these phenomenal, incredible speakers?
Wow. Well, of course, you see Dr. Shirley Ferguson up there. Incredible. This woman, oh my goodness, she does real estate. She's a powerful speaker. She's a pastor. She's an author. I mean, obviously, she's a wife and a mother. I mean, there's so many things we could say about her, but she's got a unique ability to empower people and to stir something up and to help them to what I call break through to become one of the better versions of themselves. And she's here with us. And then her sidekick, they got the same name, Dr. Katrina Ferguson. and again, she's an incredible tax professional, especially for those in the home-based business. She also does real estate. She's also an author and just a very powerful all-around woman. And again, she is going to be empowering people in the business field as well. And then you've got Mr. Peter Woofing. Oh, my goodness. By the way, Peter's looking younger since last time I saw the guy. I mean, incredible. But Peter's empowered people. I think it's $1 billion that he's helped them to get paid out in his different businesses. And he's the guy that we've worked together. I was his international training director. And we were able to build a crazy team of 1.5 million and had 2.2 million people in this company. And Peter's definitely one of those guys that he doesn't use his business people to build his business. Rather, he uses his business to build people. And he's an incredible author as well. And he's a powerful teacher. And you're going to love it because, see, I'm like this. And then Peter's kind of calm.
Like this.
And he also served in Marines, by the way. And I think, Dr. Shirley, did you do any service at all? Well,
no.
You're just you're in the Lord's Army. That's what it is.
Right.
As well as Dr. K. So, alrighty.
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We're going to spend about 30 minutes together, or just a little under 40 minutes, more or less. And I'd love to kind of do an all the way around, because in your rightful experiences and your rightful careers, the world sees you as a superhero. They just think, oh, you got it all figured out. You made all this money. And they don't understand that there was a specific change that had to occur from who you were once to who you've become in order to create the impact. So why don't we start with ladies first and go to Dr. Shirley Ferguson. Tell us a little bit about that change that you had to live in order for the change that you were able to create.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to be here. The change actually started when I was younger. I was bullied by a boy that liked me, but back then, of course, I didn't know it. And he used to bully me, and my brother taught me how to defend myself, and I used to be afraid of him. And after I had to come in contact with him, I had to change. Everything about me changed. I began to change the way that I thought, even at it's crazy, but even at a young age, how when I was created with greatness on the inside of me. And so once I started getting older and I started learning more and connecting with different people, it just became bigger and bigger. And then I started implementing it into other people's lives. And I'm telling you, it changed the whole game about my life. And the things now that I'm into was because of that. Because, you know, when you're in fear, you are afraid to step out. You're like paralyzed. You don't want to do anything. And you're afraid people are going to say something or people are going to try to downgrade you or anything like that. And once you find out that fear is not real, that it's really fake, right? Once you learn that, then you can break through any barrier that tries to come against you, that tries to hinder you, that tries to keep you down. And so for me, that happened with me when I was young. And from then on, it's all smooth sailing. Not that I don't have bumps and not that I don't have bruises, but I know how to pick myself back up and keep it moving. Because why? Because we were all created with greatness. And if I have greatness on the inside of me, why can't I achieve anything that I want, right? So I'm juiced. I'm excited that we are allotted this time in our lives, even at our age. I've been with my husband real quick for over 38 years. And so even at our age, it's like you still have more to go. It's not that, you know, you're in this certain age bracket and now it's all over, it's downhill from now. No, this is really where you start to fly high like the eagle, right? And then you start seeing all the people that have tried to pull you down. They're so small you can't see them because you're flying so high.
Yeah, you know, Dr. Shirley Ferguson, I guarantee you there will be many people who are going to message you today saying, I heard you said you've been married for 38 years and you look extremely young. We need to know what the heck you eat and what you do for your own well-being, because I'm shocked that you even said been married for 38 years. That's God bless you so much. You are amazing. Yeah, keep at it. Now let's go to Dr. K. You know, Dr. Katrina. I've just this week I had somebody who was like, dude, you work with Dr. Katrina? I'm like, yeah, I totally do. Yeah, I was totally using your name. I'm like, yeah, of course. Me and her go way back, like 3 months way back.
20 minutes.
Yeah. So again, that superhero syndrome that a lot of people see from the outside looking in, you know, can you tell us that moment that you've experienced personal change that has created the Dr. Katrina Ferguson that is today?
Thank you so much for having me today. You know, what Dr. Shirley didn't tell you was that they got married when they were 8 years old. And they're beautiful. They were beautiful then. They're beautiful today. And it's been a beautiful thing. But again, I am Dr. Katrina, and I wasn't always doctor, just simply Katrina works for me, if you don't mind. But I literally realized at a very young age, my parents divorced when I was 8, and I watched my mom as a single parent, you know, work several jobs just to make sure that I had the same lifestyle that my friends had, that we lived in a single family home, and that I could, you know, have food to eat and a roof over my head and all those kinds of things. And then when I grew up and went to college and realized, you know, college wasn't necessarily the journey for me, but there were some things that I wanted to have. And as part of leaving college, I actually got pregnant early. So I had my first daughter as a sophomore in college. And she became my reason why. I felt like just because I had an error in judgment, that she shouldn't have to suffer. And so I became a problem solver. And rather than looking and focusing on the problem, I began to focus on the solutions. So everything, I mean, if I'm in my office here, and if you look around, you can see all of these papers.
Wow.
And these represent problems that I've encountered and potential solutions. And it tends to cause you to create change and businesses so that not only is your problem solved, but you're solving problems for other people and impacting their lives. So because I know that part of my purpose, part of my destiny is to impact lives, you know, keep it like I'm not confused. Jesus came to comfort the afflicted. I came to afflict the comfortable. I know this. So with that in mind, I find the problems, I see them, I make the changes so that everyone can benefit from them. And it's not always going to make you the popular person on the block. Matter of fact, a lot of times you're unpopular because people get caught in these trenches of doing things the same way that their parents did, that their grandparents did, that their friends do, getting the same results and thinking that it's okay because that seems to be the prevalent result. But that's not how that should be. Like God put something specific in each and every one of us, a specific problem that we were created to solve. And until you identify that problem and begin to make the changes in your life so that you can see those things begin to shift and then begin to help other people, you're not going to live your destiny. You're not going to be able to continue to pursue your purpose. So we have to embrace change. When my daughter looked at me and she says, you know, she wanted X, Y, or Z, I had to make sure it was available. Yeah, I ultimately got married. I ultimately ended up in a divorce and had 3 little kids looking at me like that. That just meant I had to have 3 times the success, 3 times the money, 3 times, you know, the airline tickets to take them out of the country, 3 times the college money to pay for them, 3 times the new cars. And that will drive you to make the changes necessary. But let's not make any mistake. Change is not just about the money. The change has to happen inside you first. You don't get in life what you want. You get in life what you are. And the only way to become more, to have more, is to become more. And you have to watch podcasts like these. You have to be a part of companies and break through challenges and the types of reading that are going to cause things to shift inside you. Everything that you're facing, someone else has already faced it, written a book about it, recorded something about it, and you can have change on a shortcut. You can short circuit your process just by being attentive.
Dr. Katrina came ready, Doc.
Sorry.
Preaching it. She's
I'm
preaching.
sorry. I had a coaching session this morning and it's still like right there.
She even came with the camouflage ready. I'm just saying, like, I don't know who, I'm not following. Yeah, so no, that was,
Well, Peter was a Marine. He can handle this.
there you go. There you go. No, awesome. No,
Prior
spot
service.
on. Spot on. Mr. Wolfing, why don't you share with us, again, when you hear $1 billion paid out in commissions, when you hear 1.5 million of an organization, again, a lot of people.
2.2 million.
I apologize. I didn't mean the discount. But when you hear those numbers, what goes to mind to the average individual? They're like, whoa, I can't never connect with that person. Can you share with us again, you know, that foundation that created the Peter Wolfing who you've become today, that change that occurred?
Well, it's a great question. And I think one of the big things that, like Dr. Stan had mentioned before, is he's, you know, the A personality. He's like the rock, you know, and that's why we connected very well, is because I'm very, very even keel. And one of the things I learned when I was in the service was this term to manage chaos. And what that means is that there could be so many different things going on around you in non-commissioned officer school. What they do is they teach you to slow things down so that this way you can make decisions based on what you see, what's going to happen, not what's happening. And this way you save lives, you accomplish the mission to be able to get things done. And as a company owner of over 22 years, I've been able to see things that other people don't see, and to not get too high, not get too low, and make decisions based on the family of distributors that I have and affiliates that I have, not just based on one person. So this managed chaos you can apply in your life as well too. So this way, when things seem to be getting out of keel, when you're reacting to what's happening out in the marketplace, in the stock market, in the political spectrum, in the economy and things like that, you can see the bigger picture and make decisions based on proper decisions based on what you need, what your goals are, what you want. And so this managed chaos has really helped me quite a bit. Now, not to say I didn't have lots of problems and issues and so on going through, but in the affiliate marketing space and also in the online space, when I first started in 1990, I thought it was about going to get the sale and making the transaction. And I spent 8 years trying to figure that out because I said, listen, why do I need to hire somebody to teach me? I can do it myself. I can do it myself, right? And I spent 8 years. I ate a lot of humble pie in the cafeteria of life. I went into $125,000 in credit card debt. And I just said, listen, this is not working. So that big moment that really changed my career in the online space, affiliate marketing space, was that I said, listen, if I want to reach 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 2 million people, I got to stop thinking small about myself and I have to involve other people. So I decided to build systems to reach many more people, to 10x, 100x, 1,000x, the effect at which I wanted to reach people on a global scale. And I said, listen, I don't have to make a lot of money with one person. I can get a little bit, give them most of the money, let them be very happy, affect change on an international scale, and then let them do their thing and reward them accordingly. And over the past 22 years, it's blossomed into help thousands and tens of thousands of people around the world. And that it doesn't always have to be about you. It could be about other people. So when you go to my sites, you don't see my company, you don't see me. It's because it's not about me. So that was a big change. And then I said, listen, I can be able to help more people by doing it that way and stop worrying about trying to get rich. You just make it welcome in your life. You bring people around that think the way you want to think or going the way you want to go, and surround yourself with those types of people, because we all know the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. And there happens to be 5 people on here right now. So
I'm getting upgraded.
Right? Yeah,
I am so upgraded right now.
and when you do that, when you feed your mind the proper information, and then you take actions to cement it into your subconscious and the way you're thinking, then you give birth to what's inside of you, which is your dream. So if you can do that and make the decisions based on that, then you can do or have anything you want in your life. But we don't know when that birth is going to take place, right? It all depends on how you feed it and how you are able to manifest that. So that was the big thing for me, is to make it not about me, make it about other people, and try to help them accomplish what they wanted in their life. And then by doing that, I became successful as a result of that.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, Doc. You yourself, you had to experience identity change, right? You went from being tarred, being feathered, being just bullied, and you know that becomes a belief system. Like, I'm supposed to be hit, I'm supposed to be hurt. What happened that changed, that created Dr. Breakthrough? You know, not just the speaker, but the person who you've become, that strong from within. Can you share with us a little bit on that change experience that you've had?
Yes, sir. Well, again, I always have to give a disclaimer, though, as Dr. Breakthrough. I can't provide the breakthrough. I just prescribe the breakthrough. Yes, however, when people follow the breakthrough prescription, God Almighty provides a breakthrough they desire and deserve. And a breakthrough is exploding through barriers that at one time seemed insurmountable. And the operative word is the word seem, because sometimes my eyes and my senses tell me lies. And so, Ali, first of all, I want to thank you again, man, for what you're doing to make a difference. I mean, man, if I could have gotten a hold of information like this a long time ago, and I just can't even imagine. I can't even imagine just what we heard right now. I mean, just from the powerful people we heard from right now, right? This is like, this is a breakthrough. So for me, it was when I made, it came twofold. The biggest thing I would say was one day I got kicked out of school, and again, I'm in the victim mentality. I'm mad at the world. You know how they say you got a chip on your shoulder? I used to knock it off all the time. I was just, and I built this hard shell. So I've been hurt so much. Nobody's gonna hurt, And so I never forget, I got these 2 guys jumped me, and by this time I was getting a little bit bigger, so I was able to beat those guys. But the mom had put me in Catholic school to try to reform me, because I was about to get kicked out of public school. You bad when you're about to get kicked out of public school. So she put me in Catholic school. Well, I got kicked out of there. And so I come home, and she was like Dr. Katrina, single parent mother, doing the best she can. She worked 2 jobs, and so she was asleep. And I came in, she woke up. She's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, I got kicked out of school. Now, my mom was pretty rough. Matter of fact, I got started in martial arts because I watched her, and matter of fact, she got so good one day, her and her boyfriend got in a fight and she knocked him out cold. So that's when I realized this martial arts stuff, right? But she started crying. I never saw my mom cry before. I mean, she was pretty tough and she had to be, but she started crying and she said this. She said, I'm doing the best I can to raise you all. I don't have a man to help me. And she's like, I can't believe you did this. She's like, but you know what? And she stopped crying all of a sudden. And she looked at me and she said, but I know one day you're going to make me proud of you. And Ali, something snapped, man. First of all, when someone cries, sheds tears I never seen her cry for me before. And I saw her cry. I was like, I did this to my mom, the only person that really loves me. And when she said, I know one day you're going to make me proud of you. And that was like, I think because of the tears, it softened my heart and it went in there. And so that was the thing, her words, because every word is a seed, her words found root in my heart and it came up and it grew. And so many years later, graduated college, I'm top of my class, college professor, traveling all over the world speaking. And my mom, we're spending time together. She says, man, she's like, let me tell you something. She said, I'm just honored to know a man of your stature. I was like, oh, Mom, come on. She's like, no, serious. She's like, you're a 10th degree black. She starts coming. I said, Mom, you're just getting the result of the seeds that you planted. Yeah. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, you remember that time when I got kicked out of school and she's like, yes. And I said, you tell me I'm driving you to like an early grave and what's wrong with me, blah, 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 no man. And then you stopped and you said, but one day you're going to make me proud of you. I said, when you said that to me, I said to myself, that's what I'm going to do. Kind of like Dr. Katrina said, that became my why. I'm going to make my mom proud of me. And so for me, that was like that. Everybody's got to have that Popeye moment, right? I've stands all I can stands and I can't stands no more. and that was it. But that's why I love what you're doing and what each one of our panelists do is they've dedicated their lives now to speaking powerful words in other people. And when those people receive those words now find root in their heart, and then eventually they come out. And so that's why I love. Again, I want to say to each and every one of you, I appreciate you because what you're doing is the thing that's changing truly people's lives.
Absolutely. Well, we're talking about power of change, right? Dr. Shirley Ferguson, how many books did you author so far?
A total of 4, and I'm on my 5th one.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed. Did you always know that you were an author? Or
No.
again, so let's talk about identity shift, right? Like, so what did you do before you wrote your first book, and why did it now become a serial author process?
Okay, so I became a pastor back in 2005, but before that, I was helping other pastors with their churches, and I remember I always would write down things and thoughts that I had. And as I was writing, someone knew that I was writing, and they asked me, how come I don't write a book? And I'm like, I'm not an author. I don't want to write a book. And didn't realize that all the things that I was writing down, I was actually pouring into other people that was helping them. So then one day, I heard this voice, and the voice told me, which was God, told me to begin to write. So I just started writing, didn't know it was going to actually be an actual book. And the first book that I wrote was No Longer Bound. No longer bound. And that meant that, you're no longer bound to the life that people have spoken over you, and no longer bound to the thoughts that was spoken to you that would come back in your own head. You're no longer bound to being, in this box. You are out. You can come out of the box. I am a person who just love to see people expand and grow, and to really, see that there is really greatness on the. I keep saying that because it's true. It's greatness on the inside. When we were created with greatness. And if we don't have anyone to help us to get there or to show us that, well, there's so many people that have died and didn't even know that they were carrying a treasure. They were carrying a treasure on the inside of them. And so But for me, when I started writing and I wrote that first book and I started getting feedback from the book, and I tell you, it just kind of put a fire under me. And then I came up with another one. It came, and I just kept on. They didn't come back to back to back, of course. But it's just that when God gives it to me, I just start writing things down. And the power in the book, you know, a lot of people don't really read books. But when someone mentions a book that has changed their life, they would begin to read, right? Like the Bible, it would begin to read. And so that was one of the things that triggered me to begin to write, which I didn't want to, well, I thought I didn't want to be an author, never thought of it. But as I began to write, and then when I came up with the next one, it was like, okay, this is what I'm doing. But I'm not doing it just because I want to do it. I'm doing it only when I'm unctioned to do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I appreciate that. And everybody, make sure you check out Dr. Shirley's book. There's greatness on the inside of you, available everywhere. Just drop it on Google. I'm sure you.
Oh wait, let me say. So that's the greatness is on the inside of you is just one of my sayings. My first book is No Longer Bound. The second book is Walking in Wholeness. That book is an actual course. The Life of a True Worshiper and Know Who You Are. And
the best way to find these books, Doc, is
they can go to my website.
And can you drop the website?
ShirleyHFerguson.com.
ShirleyHFerguson.com.
Or Amazon.
Or in Amazon, but go to Shirley H. Ferguson. It's more fun if you go to the website, right?
Yes.
Let me go to Dr. Katrina. Were you always like from college, I'm going into taxes, or was that something that just came in? Yeah, I figured you were going to do that. So can you walk us? You've become, in the eyes of the masses, this tax expert, right? And you're a genius with what you know in that space. So again, we talk about identity change, right? I'm supposed to be a carpenter. I'm not this new persona that I have. So how did that change occur? And, how can you advise someone to embrace opportunities that they come your way for the sake of change?
Absolutely. I, as a result of the separation, ultimately the divorce, I ended up in a direct sales company where we broke records and, replaced my full-time income in the law firm within 57 days, within the first year, earning a six-figure income. By the third year, millions of dollars. We were making like crazy money, me and my friends. And what none of us had in place was a tax plan or a strategy. So we didn't even go to tax professional. We were looking for a tax preparer still. And we ended up going to this tax preparer, and me and all the four of my friends, we all got audited. And let me speak for myself. I wasn't trying to cheat, Uncle Sam. I believe you give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. I just didn't want to give him a penny more. And so in this process of being audited, they said that the IRS said I owed an extra $61,000 a year, $61,000 in taxes for that year. Now, it was a good year, but it wasn't that great a year. Remember, I'm a single parent mom, still trying to catch up on trying to get ahead, if that makes sense. So going through that audit process, realizing that tax preparer was not available to help me, nobody was going to pick up where they left off. I figured I had to learn the process. So I began to study. It took a full year to create to find all the receipts, to put together everything that the law said I needed to prove my expenses. Because audit just simply means prove your expenses. You don't have to be afraid of the IRS if you're not trying to cheat them. The only time you need to be afraid is if you're trying to do something illegal. So a year later, 13 binders, 4 appointments with IRS auditors later, I walk out, and not only do I not owe them $61,000, they owe me $1,100.
Wow.
Now, I would have thought at that point they'd have left me alone. When you're a real G, they would leave you alone. They didn't. They came back the next year and said $34,000 I owed them. Here we go again. Except now I understood that I had rights as a taxpayer, that Congress had put some things in place for me as a small business owner, so I didn't have to pay those exorbitant tax rates on all the money that I earned. So now I went in, took a lot less time. Instead of me owing them $34,000, they owed me $800. So I figured this, if it was happening for me, it was happening to other people out there. Because my friends, they were just paying them. They had these exorbitant payment plans that were going to last them until their, 5-year-old kids were in college. I'm like, you're out of your tree. And so I started to write and read, and then I started servicing people, became a specialist in the home-based business market. Any business that I've ever started as a serial entrepreneur has been because somebody did something or handled a situation for me in a way that I didn't like, or that I thought was unprofessional, or that I realized other people were getting hurt as a result of. Publishing company, why? I didn't like what the publisher did with my first book. Just everything. So that's how we became an expert. We're saving people hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year on their taxes, helping them structure their businesses, and literally shaping and changing financial futures.
I love it. Now, and so the publishing and the tax business, are they in the same website, or can you share with us websites where people can find you?
No, I'm a super boutique publisher. I only do publishing consulting now. Like I said, we've helped over 200 people become first-time authors, Amazon bestsellers, but we work with them on a project-by-project basis. So if you come to my website, KatrinaFerguson.com, drkatrinaferguson.com, then you'll find all the information for everything there.
Sweet. All right, Peter, I'm coming back to you.
Oh, can I say something, Ali, real quickly?
Yeah.
I am so honored. This is my first time ever meeting Peter Wolfing, but you are absolutely a legend in my world. I've read some of your works. I've met some people who've had the opportunity. Dr. Stan talks about you all the time. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. It's very nice of you to say that. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Wolfing, if you don't mind, for that person that's watching right now and is like, this is great, but you guys are talking about decades worth of experience and failures and lessons and upcoming and so on and so forth. If you can give me 3 things to that person watching right now, here's the first 3 things you must do in order to create change for you today. What would you categorize those 3 things to be?
Well, the first thing is, and it was hinted on a few times, is that in order to change the way things are right now, you can't solve that problem with the same thinking that created the problem in the first place, right? So you have to think different, right? You have to think different because you can't think like the masses. You got to think like the other 3%, right? Different. And the second thing is that the law of laws is that there's a cause and effect process that's happening all the time, right? Most people are working on the effect side of the cause and effect equation, and they react to everything. Okay. So, and that's the 97%. They're reacting to what's happening in the news. They're reacting to what's happening out there. And the 1, 2, and 3%, they're the causal factor. They make things happen. They're the producers, the creators. And you are a co-creator with your life, right? With God in your life. You're a co-creator. You create together to be able to create your life and your dreams and so on, right?
Come on, Peter.
And you make that come out. Hey, I learned a lot from Dr. Stan. So, so you create and you create your dream and go out, right? So you're a co-creator. So cause and effect is very, very important, and you want to be the causal factor of your life and your dreams and your goals. Okay, so again, you have to do these 2 things: go inside, pull things out, and then you have to create things that are happening. Okay, and I hinted on the third thing that I think is supremely important is that you have to make sure that life happens through you and as you, but not to you. Okay. So life happens as you to go out, and everybody else is thinking life's happening. It's happening to me. Things are happening to me. The man is giving it to me. The political spectrum and the economic spectrum, everything's happening to me. You have to think, okay, how can I make it happen as me? Okay. And so there's a big change that has to happen on the inside to make everything happen on the outside. That's a key thing. Now, the last thing I just want to let people know is the process that has to happen here. And sometimes, most times for me, it was a while, is that I've authored 6 books or co-authored and so on, but I'm really terrible when it comes to grammar and English and punctuation, these types. I'm terrible. In my 4th grade, I was in special reading class. And so I was not born with all these different talents and so on. I just was a successful writer over 30 years. So I got very good at it because that's what I did for 30 years is I taught all these different things and I just got better and better and better. So this this 1% change that you make in your life, focus on just getting 1% better in copywriting, 1% better in funnel building, 1% better in whatever it happens to be. You pick that 1% and you get 1% better. That 1% better is monumental, because that compounds over time. Dr. Stan will tell you he didn't become a 10th degree black belt in 2 months. It was 1% better all the time. And before you look at it, when you look backwards, you're like, wow, I got really good. So this 1% better has been proven to work with sports, with education, with all these different successful pursuits. And you can do the same thing with your life. Just 1% better over time, and you will be surprised what you can accomplish in 3 months, 6 months, a year. And you'll be so much better because you're compensated for the value that you bring to the marketplace. And if you bring more value, you can charge more money and you command more money. And then you in turn can be worthy to accept that money. Because when I first started, I didn't think I was worthy to make this kind of money. I would always sabotage myself all the time. I would make this money, sabotage myself, come back down, make this money, sabotage. I'm not worthy to make that kind of money, right? And so now I said, listen, they owe me to make it. I deserve that money, right? Because I'm good, right? So I deserve to do that, and all the good I can do with the money as well to help other people. So hopefully those three things plus maybe a plus one will be able to help some people as well too.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I love that you said, I deserve it. But you said, because there's so much good that I can do with that money. I was speaking to Jimmy Zell, which many of you know. And, we're talking about, the future and the possibilities and, what is awaiting us, profitability and whatnot. And we cut ourselves from like dreaming big to saying like, man, could you imagine like how much the church we're going to help like with our tithing? Like the brain just went like, my God, like how much more I can actually help, and with missions and all these different things. So, you are spot on with that. Okay. So Doc, I'm coming back to you as we have a change event, a Breakthrough Freedom Challenge. We talked a lot about change. You have an event that is inviting people to achieve the breakthroughs and create this change that we just spoke about. So if you don't mind, if you can give the viewers the insights of what to anticipate, what to expect, and obviously we'll tell them how they can register for less than $45,000. I mean, free is less than 45,000. Right?
I mean, yes. When you think about the value already that's been given, imagine, my friend, with this Breakthrough Freedom Challenge, which literally we're going to have an extra special bonus day Sunday night with Tom Ziegler. Zig Ziglar's son, the one who's carrying that. I mean, and imagine. So I mean, Ali, I'm touched just by the folks here. Each and every one of you have said something. I feel like I've gotten a breakthrough just listening here. And I can't even imagine what a whole week. I mean, think about this, folks. If you've been touched like I've been touched in 30 minutes, what can happen in a whole week with these speakers and so much more? You talk about Jimmy Azell. Oh my goodness. You talk about Fran Harris, who, by the way, just got a deal last month on Shark Tank with Barbara Cochran, right? I mean, and this woman, listen, Chef Katrina. We could go on and on, all these different powerful speakers, Peter and all these rest. We even got a 6-year-old. So here's what I'm saying, folks. This is designed. Here's what I want to tell you. Each one of these speakers, and I'll put it in a question. If they're willing to dedicate their lives for a week to assist you in breaking through in your business and your finances and your personal life and your digital marketing, in your laptop lifestyle and using incentive-based marketing and so forth, if they're willing to dedicate part of their lives to empower you to break through from being the Katrina before and the now getting to the Dr. Katrina now, to being the Shirley, picked on the Dr. Shirley Ferguson now, to being the homeless Ali, to the powerful figure he is now, to being the struggling for 8 years to now, Peter assisted me in one of his companies where I was making $22,000 a day, right? So you can imagine what all this? Oh, no. And there's so many more, and they're dedicated to pouring into your life. So the question is, if they're willing to dedicate a week of their lives to empower you to break through, the question is, would you allow them to do so, or would you discount it? Now, the way you discount it is you say, well, you don't register. No, if you don't register, they can't help you. And if you register and don't show up, they can't help you. But if you register, if you go to breakthroughfreedomchallenge.com right now, because when would now be a great time to get started investing in your future? And I'm going to tell you something. Peter and Dr. Shirley and Dr. Katrina, I mean, we've all collaborated with each other. And I, I've heard you all before, but there was something about Ali, even the energy of today. But I can tell y'all this, folks. My life has been transformed by connecting and collaborating with these individuals. What do you think is going to happen when we all come together? Like Napoleon Hill says, one common cause, that powerful mastermind, that power and energy that's going to surge, and the breakthroughs that are going to be happening. And I close with this. I just spoke to a gentleman yesterday that somebody connected me to, and he said, stop. He said, dude, I just had like 7 breakthroughs. He said, I can. He said, dude, what? And I said, well, guess what? We got a whole week. He said, what? I said, I got a whole week and I got a bunch of other speakers. And he said, give me the information. I'll be there. And he actually shot a video. We've never even met. Somebody introduced him, right? And he said, folks, if this guy can help me have all these breakthroughs in a few moments, I'm coming to that conference. And so, Ali, thank you. And I want to say to Mr. Jimmy Azell, this guy's heart, man, is like just crazy. Yep. And he's having a great effect on me than he knows. And so I want to thank each and every one of you. This challenge, this was my baby. This was, I want to reach 1 million or more people. I want people that haven't walked into greatness yet. I want them to get a chance to hear the Dr. Katrinas for free, to hear the Dr. Shirley's, to hear the Peter Wolfings, to hear the Greg Montoyas, to hear the 16-year-old Keo, to hear the Jimmy Azells, to hear the Ali Madal, to hear these people and experience them for a week and see what can happen. I know COVID has messed a lot of people. I know the country is down right now. I know there's a lot of division and strife, but I also know where sin doth abound, grace doth much more abound, and God wants to do a new thing. He wants to raise up and create some powerful breakthrough. So would you allow these powerful coaches to pour into you? Thank you, Ali.
Doc, we appreciate you. We thank you. Dr. Shirley Ferguson, thank you so much for your time. Dr. Katrina Ferguson, thank you so much for your time. Mr. Wolfing, thank you so much for your time. When Dr. Breakthrough comes through, he definitely brings the cavalry. He brought some with a camouflage. He brought others with 5 books, and he brought someone who paid out $1 billion. So I'm grateful. I'm excited, and I cannot wait. We have a whole incredible week ahead of us. You need today to go and register breakthroughfreedomchallenge.com, because if you said, man, I wish I can spend time with one of these individuals, we got about 15 altogether. If you say, I wish someone can show me the ropes, we got many who are going to show you everything without holding back for a whole week together. And the only thing you got to invest is a decision in your time. Yes, there are VIP offers for $7 where you can get more offers and VIP sessions, or $97 where you get the signature products that Dr. Breakthrough has had. These best-selling pieces of everything he's done to create breakthroughs, including books, including processing, including 21 days worth of education, worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars per. You're going to get it for $97 if you want to, of course, to elevate your game and learn how to build an organization in a multi-billion-dollar process. I mean, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, you have that option. But at least what I'm expecting you to do right here, right now, and today is register. Because if you're not willing to take a registration and spend time with all of us for a week at no cost to you, you're not allowed to call yourself an entrepreneur. Because an entrepreneur understands the R-O before the I, right? The investment first. What are you investing? Your time in you and in yourself. So I thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, this has been an installment of the ME Show. We'll see you. Take care, everybody.
God bless you. Thank you all.